Hey there, NEC Warrior. How are you doing today? Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 tips that I'm going to give you if you want to challenge or take on the weight gain that you had over the holiday. I certainly gained some pounds, and I'm actually planning to gain a little bit more before the holidays because, as I talked about before, I'm going to try this yo-yo dieting thing. And actually, I'm just going to share the journey of going from 190 pounds down back to 175 very gradually, very naturally, and not having to turn my world upside down. And I'm going to share the 5 tips that I have for you in order to do that. So if you are sort of in the same situation where you've gained weight over the holidays and plan to keep on doing it till the end of New Year's, remember, I'm going to be doing a cleanse. So that's where I'm going to start sort of the journey. But I just wanted to share with you the 5 tips that I'm going to be using heading into January 1st. So, what I would love you to do is to understand how you're going to feel with these tips, because a lot of things that I talk about is the mindset that you have to have, and some of the tips may resonate with you, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I like that," or some of them are going to be like, "Oh, I don't want to touch that with a 5-foot pole," and you need to understand that because in that is the key to your success long term. If you are on YouTube watching this, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you're watching this on a podcast, please follow that. And if you're on any other platforms, follow me there as well. And let me know if there's any topics that you would like me to cover in the future. Just to let you know, my name is Angelo, and I'm here to share my journey on health and fitness and help entrepreneurs and busy individuals take control of their health and fitness. So that's what this is all about. And starting with these 5 tips that I'm going to give you today. So let me know actually in the future if there's any other topics you'd love me to talk about, because I love to share my journey and anything that I can do to help you on your journey. So with that, let's just jump right into the topic of the 5 tips.
Welcome to the NAC Warrior Show.
So tip number 1 is control, no dieting. So one of the biggest changes in my journey, I've mentioned this before, is that I don't diet anymore. It's more about eating habits. And once I made that switch, that decision in my mind that I'm no longer going on a diet, and just watching what I eat and try to be sustainable in what I do, that changed that was one of the keys that changed the game for me. So that was my first tip. But if I know for some of you, you feel like you have to, and if you do, I'm going to leave a link down below in the future for later on to go to a video I had, because if you just have to do a 30, 60, 90-day plan because that just feels right to you, you want to watch that video because that's going to help you. And again, I'll put that link in later, but this was like one of the biggest things for me, was to not go on one of those 30, 60, 90-day plans, was just to really look at what I was eating and slowly change. And I'll get into that a little bit. But one of the things that you want to do is you want to go into control and just say, with this mindset, control of your mindset, saying, hey, I am not dieting. Once I get through these holidays, right now, I'm going to just start working on eating habits. What am I eating on a routine basis? Which then brings us to tip number 2 here, which is reset and cleanse. So I talked about this, and I'll leave a link to this one as well, another video that I did on cleansing that I'm going to be doing. So starting January 1st of this year, I'm going to do a cleanse. And this is just a reset. And this was like one of the last things I did when I started doing those 60, 90-day programs back in the day. It was a cleanse. And so the cleanse that I do now is a little bit different than the one that I did before, because it's more like a reset. I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to go crazy. I'm just using this as sort of like a reset. If I could do a reset button on a video game or something, this would be it. And this actually does a lot for you, body-wise, mentally, and get you prepared for what's going to come next, which is a lot easier. So this is like the hardest part of the entire thing. But if you could do some sort of cleanse, I would personally, especially if you've gained some weight. But this is not, again, not something that I do to lose weight. It's just like a reset, like a quick reset. And it's anywhere from 3 to 10 days. I typically do it between 3 or 4 to 7 days is my typical length now that I do a reset. And that would be the next thing I would do if I was you. And then the next tip number 3 that I have is to throw and give food. So while I'm going through the cleanse, what I'm going to do is look at all the food that I have, because one of the major killers is not the day that you eat, right? If we go to a birthday party and we go out there and eat, or we go to some sort of function, or we have a party, Thanksgiving, like one day, like if we just ate on Thanksgiving, then we ate on Christmas, and then or holiday, and then we ate, even a couple of parties and New Year's, and, just did that, we would be fine. But what I find that destroys us is the leftovers, right? It's all the food that gets left over that we didn't eat, and then we just keep eating and eating. So while I'm in the cleanse, during that time, I'm going to throw out only the leftovers, and the food that I can give away, like if I go to work or something, I'm going to give that away to people so that they can eat it. They can enjoy it. I don't need that. And that's my third tip, is to not get tempted by all that food, because that's where the the destruction happens, is not the days that we actually eat and veer from our normal eating patterns. It's when we have the massive leftovers that we keep consuming the days after that destroys us. And at least that's my experience. And then going to tip number 4, which is start small and easy with exercise. I will give you a little tip here. I actually have what I do here, and I've done this since this book that I've read from Jeff Olson called The Slight Edge. And it essentially says, and I've talked about this before, but essentially what you do is you start small on something. Whatever you want to be good at, you start small, start easy, and then you start going at it little by little. And it's really interesting, because when I do this, I feel like it's almost like a brain tease, and I want to do more, and I want to do more and more and more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to my TikTok after this is published and done this live. I'm going to leave a link to my TikTok, because what you'll see on there is I do these quick exercises every single day. You can follow anywhere from 10 seconds to 1 minute. And what you'll see is that this kind of gets you going. If you're not sure what to do, I think I'm up to 28, 29 days worth of exercises. So you could just start from day 1 and follow along each day, and just start there, right? Don't go out there and do 30 minutes all of a sudden and change your world. But during the cleanse, like, start easy, start small, go. And again, I do a TikTok, a video a day on exercise. It's real quick, and I'll leave that for you there. And so, but if you don't want to do that, that's okay. Whatever you do, start easy, start small, and start with 1 minute. Because what you'll see is if you do 1 minute, maybe you'll want to do 5. And if you do that, then you'll start like going to 5 minutes. Then you'll say, 5 minutes isn't that bad. Then you go to 30 minutes. The other thing about doing it for 1 minute is that you start thinking that 1 minute is okay. And that's important, because one of the big things I'm always looking for is, how do we help ourselves during busy times, right? And to be okay with exercising 1 minute and not beating ourselves up because we couldn't do a full 30 minutes or an hour is super important. So what I suggest people do is that you at least start with 1 minute, even 10 seconds, and just get familiar with that and be okay with that. Because then once you move up to 5 minutes, Let's say you can't go to 5 minutes one day, you can drop down to the 1 minute or move up to 5 minutes, then move up to 10 minutes, 15, etc. And the more time you have, the more you can do, the less time you have, the less you can do. But being comfortable with just starting easy, and when I say easy, I mean start small. I did a video on eccentric contractions and I started with 5 pounds. That was it. 5 pounds, even though I know I could do more, I started with five, day one. Day two, I moved up, 5 pounds and I started increasing. I wanted to avoid any types of situations where I would be in pain, because if I did, I knew that it would start creating resistance for me to actually go out there and start exercising, because I'd start being like, oh, it's too painful. I don't want to do this. Like just thinking like, oh, I have to go do push-ups and right here hurts. I didn't want to do that. So I always apply what I learned from Jeff Olson in his book, The Slight Edge. Tip number 5. This is quick and slow habits. What I mean by quick and slow habits, what I found that led me to yo-yo dieting in the past was that I would just go into these plans, right? I would just go into a 30, 60, 90-day plan and I would throw everything out. I would go out there and exercise for 30 minutes to an hour, and it was just not fun. It was just not reasonable. And at the end of 30 days, I was waiting, like wishing, couldn't wait for the 30 days to be over to say I did it, to just go jump back to what I used to do, because that's what felt comfortable to me. And now what I've learned is that's the reason why I yo-yo dieted in the past. Compared to now, I'm saying, yeah, let's try it out. In my last video, I said I'm going to challenge this yo-yo dieting because I have a different mindset now. But what I found that helped me in the past was to go quick on the things that I normally do that are healthy, right? So I'm going to go back to, once I'm done the cleanse, I'm going to go back to what I normally do day in and day out. And that's quick, right? Just go quickly back to what I used to do. Even though I've done a cleanse and a part of me wants to be healthier, I know if I just try to cut everything out after those 4 to 7 days, that's it. Like I know I would end up in trouble if I tried just kicking everything out. So instead, I'll go back to normal really quickly. And then what I'm going to do is pick one thing and start working on that slowly, a new habit. So let's say, I don't know. Right now, I've been doing pretty well on my new habits. I may try to go, I went more towards carbs in this later part of the year, but now I'm going to switch more towards protein. So I may make that transition a lot slower than just jumping right into proteins. So find something that you do and just start chipping at it away slowly, and don't just change everything at once. Just choose one thing, and every year or throughout the year you'll start getting better and better and better, and you'll see over a long term that you'll stay more consistent because you're not just trying to cut everything out and your body's not ready for that. You haven't put it into a situation to succeed in that scenario. So to start off small and slowly lead your body away from bad habits to better habits is the better way to go. And whoop. And actually, I have a bonus tip here. I said 5, but I wanted to add a bonus, which is permission. Give yourself permission to have fun. This is so important, especially now that we still have, what day are we on? The 29th. So we still have 3 days before the first comes. And so for me, I'm still going to have fun for the rest of the month. Just because I know that I've gained a little weight does not mean I'm going to just go strict now, right? I'm not going to change everything that I'm going to do. I'm going into the end of the year. I'm going to have a party, probably eat lots of good food on New Year's Eve. And then after that, on the 1st is when I'll start the cleanse. But before then and up to then, I am going to eat fun and have fun doing it. And also during the cleanse, find ways to have fun. During the rest of the year, find ways to have fun. It's okay to have fun and be fit and eat healthy, right? That's why we do the things that we do that's not so fun or not so good for us, because they're either fun, exciting or something new. They trigger us in some way to make us feel good. So if you're going against the grain about things that you're dreading because they're not fun, guess what? In the long run, you're not going to do it. So you got to give yourself permission to have fun doing whatever it is out there that you need to do in order to be successful. So those are my tips. So control your brain. Don't think you're dieting, you're changing your eating habits. Reset yourself with a short cleanse. And again, I'm going to be doing that, and I'll give you a link to that. I'm going to give you a lot of links to this to today. Throw and give. I'm going to throw away the food that I don't want because they're leftovers, and I'm going to give food that makes sense to give to others, put it in the office or whatever. Small and easy. I'm going to start small and go easy on my exercises. I'm not going to go crazy. Again, you can jump on my TikTok and follow me there and get the quick exercises if that's something you're interested in. Quick and slow on the habits, going quickly after the cleanse back to where I was. I'm not going to go and try to make major changes. I'm going to go slow. For me, it's going to be moving more towards proteins rather than carbs. So I'm going to move slowly to that. I'm not going to jump right into it because I may resist that. And then, of course, permission to have fun. So those are what I'm going to do for this year for my habits. Hey, Paula. How you doing? Happy holidays, happy new year. I hope everything's going well for you. If you think this video will help somebody that you know through the next part of their holidays, please share this with them if you think it will help them. Also, make sure, again, if you're watching this on YouTube, to like, follow, or subscribe and turn on those notifications for the next video that I've got coming out, and then anything else, any other platforms, podcast, or here on Facebook. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the tips. Do you resonate with them? Do you resist against them? And really think about that, because that's really going to be a key to your success. Is, again, the mental part of health and fitness is what do you feel good about, because those are the things you probably should continue doing, but the things you resist against, you should really question those, because those are probably the key ingredients to your being successful on your health and fitness journey. So let's see, what else did I miss anything? I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't know what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. I think I was supposed to talk about something different today, but this topic came up and I just couldn't resist the tips that I'm going to do, especially getting set up. Tomorrow I'm going to share with you the items that I got. I should have everything put together for the cleanse starting on the 1st, so I'll share that probably tomorrow. That's probably what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. And let's see. Other than that, let me know, again, if there's anything you want to hear about in the future. I'd love to give any tips that I can, help you on any part of your journey. Share your journey with me. And with that, I hope you have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow.